Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be telling you about my analysis of the Fed's stance with interest rates. So, it may sound boring because it's a finance topic, but you should know about this so you can navigate your investments and your money properly in the next year, because we're going to be discussing about the interest rates, which strongly affects the economy as well. And now to my first point, which is no more hikings and just cutting. So the Federal Reserve has declared victory over inflation, which some of you might not agree, but they agree. So they are planning to not increase any more interest rates, which most of you already know. And they are now looking at a new direction, which is just cutting. Which you might ask, why didn't they cut on the January 31st meeting? Well, that's because it's too early. They still want to maintain it high for a little longer so inflation do come down. Even though they declare victory, it is not at their targeted percentage, which is 2% yet. So they're going to have it maintain a little bit high so inflation do go to their targeted percentage. So they're now looking at only cutting. So they're looking at a new direction. So from now on, this year onwards until around 2026, they're going to only cut and no more hikes. Of course, they're not going to continue any sort of hikes this year as well. So there's no need to talk for the next 2 years. But what I'm saying is that they're going to make the cutting until 2026 because they don't want to cut all at the same time. If not, that'll be very inflationary, which would be very bad because why would we want to go through inflation again? And now to my second point, which is 3 cuts. So like I said, they're going to cut interest rates. But in order to make a speculation, you must know how much they cut, when they're going to cut, and how many times they're going to cut. Well, I'm just going to cut you the chase and tell you that it's going to be 3 cuts. And why would I say this? It's because in the official Fed projection, they said that they're going to cut 0.75% this year. But why not do it all at once? Well, that's because if they do 0.75% all at once, it's going to be incredibly inflationary, which is something bad, and they don't want it because they just declared victory over it. Therefore, they're going to make it slow. But of course, it's still a bit fast, but it's slower. So they're going to do it 0.25% at once. So right now, interest rates is around 5.5%. So by the end of this year, it should be around 4.75%. And now to my third point, which is countdown to the cut. So like I said just now, in order to make a speculation about this year's economy, you must know when they're going to cut, right? Well, unfortunately, I cannot tell you exactly when it's going to cut 3 times this year. But what I can tell you is a prediction. And the prediction is that on the March 20th meeting, there's going to be a 64% chance that they're going to cut. And on the May 1st meeting, there is a 96% chance that they're going to cut. Which, if the March meeting rate cuts doesn't happen, then there's a almost guaranteed that the May 1st is going to cut because it's a 96% chance, which is nearly guaranteed already. But of course, personally, I think that March 20th is still a little bit too early to cut rates. But of course, I'm going to update you more as the time gets closer to it. And now to my fourth point, which is why cut rates when the economy seems to be doing great? Because in the last quarter, the GDP was 3.3%, which is actually very high. And so why cut? Because there's no point of cutting to make the economy better, because the economy is supposedly doing great in terms of the numbers. But the reason why they're cutting is not because of the economy. It's more because they're afraid if they keep rates too high for too long, they might run into a crash, which is a recession, if they don't pull it up too early. Which is exactly a little bit worrying as well. The core inflation, which is PCE, right now is at 2.9%, which is a little bit worrying because it's not at 2% yet, but it's getting there. But if they lower rates now, the only worry I have is that inflation might come back. because they pull up the boat a little bit too fast. Of course, it's also a very hard decision. I could be wrong, they could be wrong, because we cannot really predict the future like it's a clear water. Like, it's not a crystal ball that we're looking at over here. So we have to, make our own estimations. Well, they have made a decision to cut rates 3 times this year, which they might be doing the right decision because they're worrying about a 2001 and 2007 kind of recession, which I don't think is gonna happen, by the way. Personal opinion, you might not take, you don't need to take it, but it's my personal opinion. But at the same time, it's kind of worrying that if they lower rates now, how about inflation? What if it spikes again? Since the economy is doing so good, by the way, GDP at 3.3%, ridiculously high, honestly. So it's a bit worrying, but we'll see how this play out. And now my 5th point, which is the labor market. So the Fed do care about the labor market, and to avoid any incredibly high unemployment rate or any hesitation of hiring to any of those employers or bosses, they want to decrease the interest rates first before that happens, because when it happens, one moment it may seem fine, but the next moment it's a disaster, because they just follow like a trend. It happens like a trend, and it's a very fast trend. So yeah, that's also one of the reasons why they wanted to decrease interest rates, so that the unemployment rate don't go crazy, and also one of the factors of recession as well, which is because they got fired, they want to save money, or they're unemployed, they want to save money, and all those money will be clocked, less money flow, recession. And now to my conclusion. The conclusion is that there's going to be 3 rates cut this year, and you guys should buckle up. Note down the days of March 20th, May 1st. Stay tuned because I'm going to update you guys on those dates as well, and after those dates as well. And also, there's going to be lower rates. When there's a lower rate, also means more money in the pocket, indirectly, because they're going to charge up money flow in the economy. And when there's more money flow in the economy, also means more loans being borrowed, more dream houses, and impulsive spending, which some of you secretly love. Yeah, so yeah, there's could be a chance of inflation. Just putting it out there, the idea of the worry. And the Fed is worried about recession, so they're going to decrease rates. And that will be the end of today's videos. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like and subscribe, and I hope you come back for the next one. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.